So in that solo, I was using a lot of dominant 7 arpeggios, and they become some of my favorite things to play because when I learned them, it really helped unlock the fretboard for me. I was able to play like any dominant 7 chord, maybe in a blues, like a D7, and outline the individual notes in that chord, like a D, F sharp, A, and C. Those are the notes that make up that chord, and when you learn the arpeggio, you have no choice but to hit the good sounding notes. So when I play an arpeggio like that, we can hear it's a bluesy in nature, but it's not like this. It's not a minor pentatonic scale. And combining that with what you already know from the pentatonic world is really gonna give you some new vocabulary for not just your blues solos, but all kinds of solos. So by far, that was the thing that helped me the most employing the dominant 7 arpeggios, because I know a lot of you say, I know my scales, I know some arpeggios, but I just can't put it together. Well, this is a fun way to do it, and I'm gonna play a solo for you guys and teach it to you that will unlock a lot of this stuff. So a quick preview. If you take a dominant 7 arpeggio, like let's say right here, D7 arpeggio, and we play its corresponding minor pentatonic scale there, well, you've got two really cool sounds working with each other, sort of, together, juxtaposing a little bit. You have that intervallic sound of the arpeggio. Then you have the scale. And you can hear as I go up and then come down, up arpeggio, down scale. It's some really cool familiar sounds, and we can do that anywhere we find an arpeggio and its sort of adjacent pentatonic scale, like here. Walk down the minor pentatonic. Now I put it into a soloing context. Arpeggio, down with the scale, or a blues lick. So those two things really will get you a lot of mileage that you haven't been able to access before when it comes to playing solos over blues or rock, blues rock, country, all kinds of stuff. R&B you can use this in. It's really going to help. So let's check out this 12-bar solo. It's actually a solo I'm taking from my new interactive ebook called the Dominant 7 Arpeggio Soloing Handbook. It teaches you all this stuff and way more. Solos, approaches to the arpeggios, ways that you can work them out. It's a really, really cool interactive ebook. It's on sale for 50% off in the links below, so make sure you check that in the description. It'll also be in the comments as well. All right, let's hear a solo, and I'm going to break it down measure by measure and show you how I did that very thing, arpeggio and scale, together in a 12-bar solo. Let's do it. Right out of the gate, I start with that D7 arpeggio here on the 5th fret, 5th string, and I'm going to play D, F sharp, A, C, and walk it up. That in of itself is a D7 arpeggio. And then in the next measure, I'm going to respond. That's all coming out of pentatonic pattern 5 and pentatonic 4. I stay there in measure 3 and do more pentatonic work. I think that's the lick, yeah. So that takes me through measures 1, 2, and 3. Now in measure 4, I'm going to set up the upcoming G7 chord by playing an arpeggio there. So measures 4 and 5 do that exact thing we're working on. Arpeggio up. When I get here, I'm still thinking of that D minor pentatonic scale. I'm going to use one D minor scale pentatonic over the whole thing, but I'm going to use the individual arpeggios over the chords. This is the tricky part. And Okay? So try to see that minor pentatonic 4 there and the arpeggio here. And then what I do from that point is I'm going to do it again. And I take the sort of second half or higher octave of that arpeggio. I walk a pentatonic idea down. But then what I have to do is approach the upcoming D7 chord. And I do that by ending that line there because I'm seeing the framework of that. Okay, again, this is all in the tab and it's all in the book. From that point, I want to do another dominant 7 arpeggio, and I want to go up to measure 8 at this point. And that gets me this arpeggio shape. Because I went here. That's pentatonic, arpeggio. Now the next chord coming up is an A7. And there's an A7 arpeggio right here. And what you'll learn in the book, and you'll learn it in other videos on my channel as well, is once you learn that arpeggio shape, you can move it around. Okay, so right there now we're going to be in measure 9. And I'm going to do this. And for the most part, I stick strictly to that arpeggio. Right here, I'm going to pull off and walk down, and you'll see in the book and the other lessons, there are these like sort of pro tips that tell you how to take that framework of the A7 and add some notes here or there from a half step away. Okay, and that covers the A7. Again, just breezing through here, you got the tab. The really slowed down deep lesson is in the book. Now, from there, remember I said we have that C7, G7, or sorry, C7, G7 approach to the D7. We have that weird chord change that isn't typical on a 12-bar blues. And we can do that like this. That little run right there that you're going to hear in measure 10 accomplishes two things because we have a C7 and a G7 in the same bar. So we got to be, pretty quick about how we get to those chords if we want to outline them. So you see the C7, I walk down that arpeggio. And then I know there's a G7 there, but I'm just going to hint at it by adding those two notes, which is the 3rd and the 5th. Okay? And then from there, I got to go back to D7 world because we just ride that D7 out for the next 2 bars. It doesn't go back to the 5. So we're going to go back to here. Lo and behold, a call and response arpeggio pentatonic scale sort of toggle move we do there. Up with the arpeggio. It's really, really fun stuff. So from the top, let me review with you guys. Again, for the umpteenth time, it's in the book. This isn't a call to buy the book. You can if you want, but there's so much more of this stuff in there in deeper, longer teaching. We call and respond. Up, arpeggio, down, scale. Stay in the scale. And we got to get set up for the next chord coming. And I actually do it sort of a measure before, and it's a fun thing to do. I'm not even playing chords and you can hear them. It's really cool. And you hear when I target that D7 by walking that scale down and then ending on some arpeggio notes. Okay? Then from there, I'm going to go outline that D7 with that arpeggio. the A7, then I think I go, I go here. Again, call and response, arpeggio, scale. So much good stuff. There's 12 more bars of that in the solo in the book, and there's 2 other solos that get even wackier and do some really, really cool stuff. So I love this stuff. Dominant 7 arpeggios really changed my life. I mean, major 7 and minor 7 arpeggios did too, and all of the other ones that exist out there for every chord. You know, but to apply it in such a way that's a more of a modern blues rock type of thing is really what I was going after, and I continue to pursue it because I like to teach it, and I think a lot of you players out there are interested as well. So check out the links below, drop me a message in the comments if you're into this kind of thing, if you've gotten the book, or you've checked out my lessons on this stuff before. I'd love to hear from you, and I'm going to keep practicing this until I get it the way I hear it in my head, and I hope you join me for the journey. All right, I'll see you on the next one.